This is Optimal Health Daily, episode 1283. How do you really lose that belly fat? By Summer Banks of DietSpotlight.com, and I'm Dr. Neil. Hey there, happy Sunday, and welcome back to Optimal Health Daily, where I simply read to you from the best health and fitness blogs for free. It's kind of like an audiobook, but with articles instead, and from a bunch of different authors, and always with permission from the sites, and with a bit of my commentary at the end. Before we get to it, wouldn't it be great if there were a pocket-sized guide that helped you sleep better, focus better, act better, possibly even be better? There is. And if you have 10 minutes, Headspace can change your life. When I feel overwhelmed, I love pulling up my Headspace app for quick, calming moments of mindfulness with their 3-minute SOS meditations. The breathing exercises really help boost my focus as I move on to my next task. I also love that I can adjust the duration of my meditation anytime between 5 to 20 minutes, which is super helpful for time blocking. Plus, you know I care about research and studies, and Headspace is backed by 25 published studies. You deserve to feel happier, and Headspace is meditation made simple. Go to headspace.com/OHD. That's headspace.com/OHD. for a free 1-month trial with access to Headspace's full library of meditations for every situation. This is the best deal offered right now. Head to headspace.com/OHD today. All right, I'm sure you're eager to hear about how to finally lose that belly fat, and so let's jump right in and hear today's article and continue optimizing your life. How do you really lose that belly fat? By Summer Banks of DietSpotlight.com. There's the idea that performing ab exercises helps you lose belly fat. A common symbol of health is a muscular abdomen. Is there just one way to lose belly fat, though? An overview of the core muscles. The muscles in your core region perform a variety of functions. They protect organs, provide support, and assist with movement. The four muscles are the rectus abdominis, transverse abdominis, external oblique, and internal oblique. Differentiating between abdominal fats. Not many people are aware of the fact that there are two different types of abdominal fat. This fat is found above your organs in the abdominal cavity. This kind of fat also influences hormones in the body and puts many processes of disease into motion. Then there's subcutaneous fat. This is found between the skin and the muscles. According to the National Institutes of Health, this is fat that you can physically touch, though having a healthy amount of this type of fat will not drastically increase your propensity for disease. All in all, there are two distinct types of abdominal fat, subcutaneous and visceral. Having a six-pack and losing weight are two different things. We all know that working a muscle group is key to help maintain its strength. Despite this fact, exercising a certain muscle group will not reduce the amount of fat present over said muscle group. For the abdominal muscles, the presence of subcutaneous fat is what stands in the way of your skin and your muscles. If you want to look in the mirror and see a six-pack on your abdomen, losing the subcutaneous fat will be the first step. Only after losing this fat will your toned abs shine through. So to have a visibly toned abdomen, you need to lose the subcutaneous fat between your muscles and skin. Wait, can ab exercises help you lose belly fat? No. Ab exercises will not inherently work away your belly fat better than any other sort of exercise will. Though it is a common belief that focusing on this muscle group can disproportionately encourage abdominal fat loss. Much of the current science suggests that this notion is entirely false. So what is targeted fat loss? When thinking about how to lose belly fat, many people look to targeted fat loss. Targeted fat loss is based on the idea that when you work out a specific area of the body, you will lose fat only in that particular area. While working out a particular area is beneficial for those muscles, this doesn't translate to targeted fat loss. According to the National Institutes of Health, in a study performed on people doing consistent ab exercises over the course of 5 weeks, they found no correlation between this sort of activity and the loss of subcutaneous abdominal fat. The National Institutes of Health also reported that this is not a finding limited to belly fat either. In a study done on arm training, it was shown that participants were working off fat on their body as a whole, rather than just fat on the arms. There are, however, other studies with contradictory results. Another study looking at arm training showed that fat was disproportionately reduced in those spots. A similar study supporting this theory was done on whether or not fat being located near the muscles being trained was being worked off faster than fat in areas surrounding resting muscles. Though these few studies did confirm findings that fat near the working muscles reduced more than the near non-working muscles, the majority of evidence points to the contrary. So, all in all, you can't lose belly fat in targeted areas. It naturally comes off the whole body during exercise. So, how do we lose belly fat with exercise? According to the National Institutes of Health, when exercising, you'll notice an increase in metabolism and calorie burning. Cardiovascular activity helps burn visceral fat on the abdomen. It has also been shown that fat mass is burned most effectively when undergoing a higher intensity workout as opposed to a low intensity one. Many studies are finding that an essential part of exercising for weight loss is consistency, with making high intensity workouts a part of your daily routine. Many find success with doing even as little as 20 minutes of intense training only 3 times per week. These exercises will hopefully help build muscle mass, a process which encourages your body to shed more fat. Now here's a little bit more about high-intensity training. Studies show high-intensity interval training helps you lose belly fat when compared to the average aerobic exercise. High-intensity interval training is structured with short periods of very intense training that lead to longer periods of less intense training. The benefits of this type of exercise are numerous and include higher rates of fat loss and decreased appetite. Though this is an effective strategy for weight loss, it is not the only effective strategy. If you start walking daily, you will still be losing more weight than if you weren't. So, high-intensity interval training can help you lose belly fat when compared to other exercise routines, but remember, starting anywhere is still good. Diet is everything to help lose belly fat. Many people try to compromise in weight loss by exercising, yet keeping their dietary habits the same. However, getting all the nutrients you need on a daily basis is just as important as exercising regularly. The most common dietary change to lose belly fat involves the removal of processed or sugary foods. Most Americans consume an excess of these foods every day. Make sure what you're eating are real, whole foods as opposed to something processed. The list of nutrients that are commonly lost in processed foods include things like vitamins, minerals, and fiber. Research confirms that a combination of diet and exercise is essential if you want to lose belly fat. So the key points of a healthy diet are cutting out processed foods and consuming a moderate amount of calories. So what's the real way to lose that belly fat? By this point, it's evident that doing a myriad of crunches in your spare time will not shed any excess belly fat that you may have. But one of the most useful tools for fat loss can be a high-intensity exercise routine. A healthy diet is also important when you set out to lose weight. The key to lose belly fat centers around boosting metabolism and reducing caloric intake. You just listened to the post titled, "How Do You Really Lose That Belly Fat?" by Summer Banks of DietSpotlight.com. Is your Wi-Fi struggling to keep up with your streaming, work, gaming, video calling, and more? What about all at once? When you're connected to your world by Wi-Fi, be sure it's the best. Bring your Wi-Fi up to speed with Orbi Wi-Fi 6 from NetGear. Orbi Wi-Fi 6 is the best and latest in Wi-Fi. It covers your entire home with unmatched speeds and performance for uninterrupted working and learning, video calling, and streaming at home on more devices than ever before in any part of the house. With Wi-Fi this advanced, you're going to want it everywhere. Ready for the best Wi-Fi ever? Find out what makes NetGear America's #1 choice for Wi-Fi at netgear.com/best Wi-Fi. That's netgear.com/best Wi-Fi. And I have that linked in this episode's description. Dr. Neil here for my commentary. Targeted weight loss or targeted fat loss, back in the day we used to call that spot reduction, means the same thing. And it's totally true. The data doesn't seem to support that doing sit-ups or crunches every day will necessarily give you that six-pack. Don't get me wrong, it's important to do those exercises because you're strengthening those muscles, and many of us have weak abdominal muscles. But we also want to work the muscles behind that area. So don't only do things like crunches and sit-ups. You want to actually strengthen your lower back muscles too. If one side or one part of your body is too strong, that still can increase your risk for injury. And many of us have weak lower back muscles too. So again, while there's nothing wrong with doing crunches and sit-ups, that's fine, but just don't expect that to lead to a six-pack, especially if you have what we call more abdominal obesity or fat around the abdomen. So the secret or the trick to losing belly fat, well, to be honest, it's not really a secret or a trick. It's consistency over time. So what you have to do is create a calorie deficit by eating less food. Eating less processed sugary foods will help because that will hopefully help stabilize the appetite so you won't get those spikes in blood sugar and then those crashes in blood sugar, which make you go running for a snack. And then exercising. And yes, studies are finding that high-intensity interval training may help someone burn more body fat. But again, these studies are often done in younger, healthy people. And so if you're unable to do high-intensity interval training, don't stress too much about it. But when you go for a walk, maybe for 30 seconds, walk a little bit faster and then go back to your normal pace after 30 seconds or so. And then repeat that. So maybe every 2 minutes, you walk faster than you normally would for 30 seconds. And then for the next minute and a half or so, you walk at your normal pace. And then you repeat. You walk again fast for 30 seconds. And then for the next minute and a half, you just continue walking, but at your slower pace. Even that would count. It's changing things up. It's forcing your body to adapt, which may, according to some studies, help you burn more fat. But what I will tell you is in the beginning especially, don't expect any fat to be lost around the abdomen especially. That's usually the last place the body turns to when burning fat. It's really sad. And this is just how it goes for most people. So you may find that your wrist gets smaller. You may find your chest gets smaller, your arms, but nothing happens around the belly or the hips. Give it time, it will happen. All right, that's enough out of me for today. Thank you again so much for being here. Thank you for listening every day. Thank you for sharing this show with someone. I hope you're having a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you back here tomorrow where your optimal life awaits.